I'm Jim Bolton. Currently I work at Kennedy Space Center for NASA as the Vehicle Assembly Building Operations Manager. For Atlantis, I was the NASA Vehicle Manager for the last few years of the shuttle program for Space Shuttle Atlantis. As we gathered together and Atlantis was making the turn from State Road 3 onto the NASA Causeway in front of the headquarters building where the turnover ceremony was to occur, it was the classic get ready for a parade, a lot of hurry up and wait, and yes, there were a lot of emotions there. I think that's where most of us realized this was really it. Atlantis was going to get turned over to a museum, and this is the end of the Space Shuttle program. As we got closer to the end of the shuttle program, it got to be a little bit emotional for people, realizing that we have people that were there working from STS-1 all the way to the very last mission, STS-135. So after spending over 30 years of working on a shuttle, it was tough for some people. For me, I realized that it was the end of the program, and some things have to end for other things to begin, and that's how this is going to work with our budget as we've got it nowadays. We just cannot afford to process and fly space shuttles, and also to design and build a new heavy launch vehicle. A large banner that is typical of the shuttle missions was there. It had the signatures of many employees wishing well to the Atlantis and its future as a museum piece. Once the parade actually started, we carried the banner, we escorted Atlantis to in front of the grandstands where the turnover ceremony was to occur. I look at it a little bit like the bridesmaids and groomsmen in a wedding. We were there as witness to the fact that it had been a good program, a lot of people had participated, and we were just representing a whole lot of the folks that had actually been behind the scenes and done a lot of work to keep the space shuttles flying safely over the years. Once the turnover ceremony occurred, there were the signing over of the Atlantis to the visitor center. The first commander of Atlantis was there, and the last commander. There were 30 astronauts there. So it was quite an organization and group of folks that were there at the actual turnover ceremony. And after it was signed over, Atlantis was transported ceremonially to the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Center. And I had had a full day by then, so I did not go to that event, but I have driven by there a few times as they are positioning Atlantis in the building. It's rather spectacular. They've raised Atlantis up off the ground and have it at, I believe it's a 42-degree angle, representing the orbiter in flight. Overall, the orbiters, the Discovery is displayed in the Smithsonian on its wheels as if it had just landed. Endeavour which will be displayed at the California Science Center. Right now it's on its wheels, but it's eventually going to be displayed fully stacked as though it's ready to launch. Atlantis, to be displayed here at the Kennedy Center, is going to appear as it is in orbit. The view is going to be spectacular because as people come into the building, they're going to walk into the large room where Atlantis is, and it'll almost look like they are spacewalking, looking down on Atlantis with the payload bay doors open and the orbiter manipulator arm, the Canadarm deployed with an astronaut on the end of it. And then as you go down the ramp, you'll get down below Atlantis and it will be right above your head, looking very similar as if it was coming into land right above you. So the three of them are all displayed differently. I'm really proud that the one here at Kennedy Space Center is going to be here for us to see, and it's going to be displayed in a dual mode, like it's in orbit and as if it was just landing. So the summer of 13 is when that display is scheduled to open for the public, and it sure looks like it ought to be a very interesting place.